Once upon a time, in a city, there was a beautiful golden statue standing high on a column. This statue was known as the Happy Prince. His body was covered with fine gold. His eyes were to bright sapphires, and a large red ruby adorned the hilt of his sword. The prince had lived a very happy life when he was alive, hence the name Happy Prince. One night, a small swallow flew over the city and landed at the feet of the Happy Prince. The swallow was on its way to warm Egypt, but decided to rest for a few days to say farewell to its friend, the reed. However, the swallow was startled to see tears streaming down the Happy Prince's eyes. "Why are you crying?" asked the swallow. The prince replied, "When I was alive, I lived in a palace and never saw the suffering outside. But now, from this place, I can see all the misery and sadness in my city, and it makes me very sad. Can you help me?" The prince made his first request. "Do you see that small house over there? The window is open, and inside, there is a woman. She is a poor seamstress, and she is sewing a dress for the Queen's maid of honor. Her son is very ill, and they have nothing to eat. Please take the ruby from my sword hilt to her." The swallow hesitated. "But I have to go to Egypt. If I stay too long, I won't survive the cold." The prince pleaded, "Please, little swallow. That little boy is very sick." The swallow finally agreed. "All right, I'll help just this once." The swallow took the large ruby from the prince's sword hilt and flew to the seamstress's house. Through the window, the swallow saw the seamstress, exhausted and asleep, while her son lay feverishly on his bed. The swallow gently placed the ruby on the table and flew away. The next morning, the seamstress was overjoyed to find the ruby. "Where did this come from? Now I can buy medicine and food for my son." The swallow returned to the prince and said, "I've done what you asked. Now I must go to Egypt." But the Happy Prince made another request. "Look far away in that attic. There is a poor playwright. He is cold, hungry, and trying to finish his play. Give him one of my sapphire eyes." The swallow was startled. "But if I do that, you'll be blind in one eye." The prince gently replied, "It's all right. Helping him finish his play is more important." The swallow took the sapphire from the prince's eye and flew to the playwright's attic. Entering through the window, the swallow placed the sapphire on the desk. The next morning, the playwright was overjoyed to find the sapphire. "Now I can finish my play. I can buy food and warm clothes with this gem." The swallow returned to the prince and said, "Now I must really leave for Egypt." However, the prince made one last request. In the town square, there is a little girl selling matches. She has not sold any, and is afraid to go home because her father will beat her. Take my other sapphire eye to her." The swallow hesitated. "But if I do that, you'll be completely blind." The prince softly said, "It's all right, little swallow. If it can make that girl happy, I will gladly give up my sight." The swallow took the prince's other eye and flew to the match girl. The girl was overjoyed to find the sapphire. "Now I can sell this gem and buy food. I won't get in trouble with my father." The swallow returned to the now blind prince and said, "You can't see now, but I will stay with you. I can't go to warm Egypt, but I won't leave your side." The prince was delighted. "Thank you, little swallow. With you here, I won't be lonely. Double quotes. The swallow stayed with the Happy Prince, telling him stories and helping him as winter approached. But as the cold grew harsher, the swallow became weaker and could no longer fly. One day, The swallow used his last strength to fly to the prince's shoulder. "Goodbye, dear prince. I can no longer survive. Thank you for showing me the meaning of love and sacrifice." The prince wept. "Goodbye, little swallow. Your dedication will always be remembered." The swallow quietly passed away at the prince's feet. The next morning, the townspeople were shocked to find the swallow and the blind prince. The town council decided that the statue was no longer beautiful and should be removed. They melted the prince's body to make a new statue, but the prince's heart did not melt. They discarded it in a heap of trash. However, in heaven, the angels brought the prince's heart and the swallow to God. God said, "You both have shown true beauty and goodness. You will live forever in my paradise." And so, the happy prince and the little swallow were together in eternal happiness. The story ends here. From the tale of the happy prince and the little swallow, we learn the true meaning of love and sacrifice. The happy prince gave everything he had to help others, and the swallow gave his life to stay by his side. Their devotion and love warm our hearts and make us reflect on what true happiness is.